Hello guys, and welcome back to the Rush Guide channel. Today we're going to do an update on our garden. A few years back I did some videos about us setting up a garden, but a lot of people wrote to me in the comments saying that I never showed them what happened at the end. So this year I'm going to try and do a few updates throughout the year so you can see what results we get, not just the beginning. Alright, let's get started. So in this section here, we've got lots of different types of plants. Along the edge here, we've got the peas. As you can see, we've got a few peas coming. The peas aren't doing really well. In this area, we have a little bit of a problem because south is this way, so we get a bit of the morning sun, but as soon as it drops behind the house here, this place doesn't get a heap of sun, and obviously the fence casts a bit of shadow. So it's not ideal conditions, but you just have to do the best with what you have. So they're growing, they're producing peas, which is good. Got some sunflowers along the back here. My mum's growing some calendulas. These are obviously very pretty flowers, but also they are good for medicinal purposes. So we quite like growing calendulas. We have parsley, and we're growing carrots here as well, and silver beet. Our family in Australia, we grew silver beet and it grew really well. It also grows really well here in Russia. And yeah, we quite like it. We have some zucchini plants along here. And over in the next row, we have some little tomato plants. These are like little cherry tomatoes. So we've got a few of those. It'll be interesting to see how they go and how quickly they ripen. Here in Russia, because of the short season, quite often tomatoes take a long time to ripen, and sometimes you have to do the ripening inside. These are some capsicums along the side here. And this way we have a pumpkin plant. He is spreading, really taking off. This is a butternut pumpkin. So, for people who don't know, butternut pumpkins are one of the sweeter pumpkins, and our family really likes this type, so obviously that's what we're growing. We have some more sunflowers here. Then against the hothouse, we have some more tomatoes there. Let's explain about these buckets. So my mum does these, and it's a way of fertilizing our garden. We take scraps and green waste, and then we put it in these buckets, and then we soak it in water, and then it sort of decomposes a bit, and then that goes into the water. So you sort of want to do this until it sort of decomposes, but it doesn't get really smelly, because once it gets smelly, it's actually going bad, and there's getting a bit of bacteria in there, which is taking all the goodness out of it, so a bit of a balance there. But that's how we fertilize our garden here at the moment. When we lived in Australia, we actually had a worm farm. What that is like a box that you have dirt, and you put lots of your household scraps in. You can put your lawn clippings in there, and all the worms in that box will go through and eat all those clippings, digest it, and then all the worm droppings go into the soil, and you can either take the soil straight out and use that. It's a very rich way of fertilizing your garden, or you can also like run water through it and let the water drain out, and that makes a nice what they call a worm tea. But at the moment we don't have that because we're just here and we don't have a lot of infrastructure, so we're doing the best of what we can. Alright, here is our hothouse. So last time I showed you this hothouse, all these benches were up at about waist height. But what we had was all our plants grew up and they were getting too tall, so we had to come through and drop all these benches down. And yeah, this is a bit of an experiment for us because we're growing stuff in the hothouse and then stuff outside. So obviously it's warmer in the hothouse, and as you can see, like the tomatoes and everything, they're actually growing a bit faster. One of the issues we do have in this hothouse is because it is on concrete, it's not actually a garden bed, and we can't plant in the ground here, so we're stuck with what we can get with pots and stuff. And obviously for these plants, it's not a whole lot of soil, so you have to make sure that you water them regularly and give them food so that they stay healthy and keep growing. For example, this is a cucumber plant here, but it's struggling a bit. A lot of the flowers and cucumbers are just not getting fertilized, or there's just not enough nutrients. We've only got one, or we had two, we ate one, but it's a bit better, but only one cucumber, and it's looking quite sad. So obviously growing in pots isn't ideal. So we have a few varieties of tomatoes. Here's one, it looks a bit like a aroma tomato. I think we got that one from the store. But I'll just show you, where is it? I think this one here. As you can see, look, this tomato looks not like your typical tomato from a store. My mum actually found some tomatoes just down the street from where we live, and she took the seeds back, and so these are those tomatoes, and they're quite a fleshy tomato. They don't have a heap of juice in them, so if you want to make something like a thick tomato sauce or something like that, these are ideal for that. Alright, so that's the front section. Let's head around the side and then to the back. Alright, here we go. Here is our side garden. So we have onions here. So when we planted these, we planted little onion bulbs, and then they're all coming up nicely. One interesting thing is that in Australia, we don't actually have to plant the onion bulbs. We can actually plant seeds in the ground because we have a long enough season that they will actually be able to take from seed and grow to full size in the season. But here in Russia, because we have a shorter season, we start with bulbs. And then we have some more silver beet here. We have lettuce. Let's see. We have some these are beetroots here. Beetroots. And this is, I think this is broccoli. From memory, that's broccoli. And at the back we have some mint that was actually already here when we came. So that's nice to have for our tea. Oh. And hang on a second. No, I think this is broccoli, and that is another thing from the cabbage family. I can't remember exactly what that one is. But this is the broccoli. And we've got another, these are, I think these are zucchinis as well. And some more silver beet here. So yeah, those are our two garden beds, and these ones are for my brother-in-law and my sister. Over here we have some strawberries that were here already. So we have had a couple of strawberries off these plants, and they've been really nice. In the place we were living before last season, There was a lot more strawberry plants and we got quite a lot of strawberries. But here, not so many, so it's a bit unfortunate, but it's okay. Alright, here is the backyard. Alright, so here is our garden section. We have sunflowers here and over here. They're growing quite fast, quite big. I think we planted two varieties of sunflowers. I think these ones are the ones that grow tall and have like the really big heads of sunflowers. And then I think we have some at the front which are actually, they got like a sunflower on the top, but they also have like little flowers that come out from here. So I think that's a different variety. We have tomatoes at the back here. These are actually doing decent, quite decent. Let's see, we've got fruit starting to come. At the back we've got beans and peas, and that plant there, I think it's not 100% sure. It's either a watermelon or maybe a pumpkin. I don't think it's a pumpkin. It doesn't look like a pumpkin. I'll have to check later on with Mum. But yeah, we got, again, lots of calendulas along the front. We've got a bunch of carrots here, all planted out. Silver beets again, parsley. This garden bed gets a little bit more sunlight because in the morning the house casts a bit of a shadow, but throughout the day obviously the sun comes up along here and sets down there, so we get more sun out the back here. Alright, let's see, got more of those cherry tomatoes just behind here. We have some corn here, just growing some of that. Ideally we would like to grow a lot more here, but at the moment we are limited for space. Obviously we still live on a relatively small property and we can't dig the whole place up. So we're just, this is more of a, we're growing food for ourselves, which we love doing, but it's a lot of an experiment as well. We're learning the different things that you have to do here in Russia compared to Australia with a shorter season, but there's a lot more water than in our summer, so lots of new things to learn. So we've got another butternut pumpkin here. Got some more sunflowers in between them. And yeah, we got a few berries that were here already. So there's this one here. I think these are a gooseberry. So there's one there, one there. These trees are a cherry tree, but they don't make really sweet cherries. They're a little bit bitter. We've tried them before and we've tried to make jam out of them. You had to add a lot of sweetening to make it nice. I think the reason why they plant them here is actual like sweet cherries. They don't do as well in this climate. There's not a long enough season, so you're sort of stuck growing the more bitter ones. Maybe if you grew them in a hot house or something, then you would definitely have a better chance of having a longer season and being able to grow some more different varieties that can not handle the cold so much. So the rest of this garden is my brother-in-laws and sisters, so basically try to split it all 50-50. Here's some more cherry trees. Here we have another berry. This is a raspberry plant. This produces some quite nice berries. And back behind the swing here, they have planted an apple tree. As you can see, it's already fruiting. But also the same thing as with the cherries. These only grow to a small size. They'll get bigger, but not a really full-grown apple. And they're not the sweetest. So the rest of the backyard is obviously we have our lawn here. I just mowed it a little bit earlier. And one interesting thing about mowing and lawns I've noticed here in Russia is not so much people's houses, but when you drive out and you see like the council or the government like mowing the verges or places like that. In Australia, we have a lot of people that use push mowers, and they go around, or they'll be on a ride-on where you have a mower and you actually sit on top of it and you drive it around, because a lot of these areas are big areas, so you need to be able to cut a lot of grass in a decent speed. But here in Russia, for some reason, they have a lot of, in Australia, what we call whippersnippers. In Russia, they're called trimmers, trimmer or trimmery. In America, they call them a weed whacker. So whatever you like to call them, they got a lot of those, and you'll see people just mowing big sections with these. I'll call it a whippersnipper because that's what I'm used to, with these whippersnippers. And for me, it doesn't really make sense, because it takes, to me, it takes a lot longer to be able to mow a big area. Maybe one of the reasons is because maybe the ground isn't very level. When they finished it off, they didn't do a real good job at making sure that it was decently level, that you can actually run a mower over there without getting it damaged. Maybe that's why they do it. That's just a theory, so that's one thing I noticed. But here we actually have a small little electric mower. That's also something that's quite new for me in Australia. We always used a petrol mower. On our farm we actually had a ride-on, so we actually sit on top and then you just drive it around. But here, yeah, we have the electric mowers. Of course they're in Australia, but we just didn't use them. But now, yeah, we've got an electric mower, and you just have to make sure you don't drive over the cable. That would be a shocking experience. Yeah, I'm really glad that we have this area here, because we can come out here as a family, have a little fire pit, cook dinners, invite guests over and have them around. We've had a few people around already this summer, and it's just a really nice area to have here. Yeah, I really don't know how people go in small apartments where, you know, to do anything outside you have to leave and you have to take all your stuff with you, and it's just a big thing to do, and you just don't do it as often. I don't know, maybe there's people that just like that way of living. Anyway, so that is a little update of what our garden has done so far. I hope you guys enjoyed having this update. If you did, let me know in the comments below, and I'll keep doing them, so you don't only get the first part of the garden here where it's interesting, you're turning everything over. You get the second part where you get to see all the rewards. Quite often I forget about it. So if you did like this video, leave it a big thumbs up. Obviously write in your comments your thoughts down below. Maybe some plants that we have that you haven't really thought of growing before. I know that in Australia and Russia they grow sort of different things typically. Maybe there's things that you think we should grow and we should try. So let us know down there, all that stuff. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you can go down and do that as well. Keep up to date with all we're doing here in Russia, our family and our adventures. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one.